Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is Daily Drop number 87. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. I don't know about where you're living, but where I'm at, this place is a madhouse. Las Vegas is absolutely, positively nut job central during the New Year's Eve weekend. There are more people here than you could possibly imagine right now. You cannot even move in some of these hotels. I was just picking my girlfriend up from work a little while ago, and it was just bedlam already up on the strip. So, that said, I plan on staying home tomorrow, hanging out, doing some more research for the Santa Fe trip, and watching a Twilight Zone marathon, as well as football, of course. But I will not, I repeat, not be venturing out into the madness that is Las Vegas for New Year's Eve. No, thank you. I spent plenty of years up on the strip growing up and when I was younger, and I have zero desire to participate in anything like that. There are way too many people for me. So I'll be staying home, nice and warm, doing some research for the Santa Fe trip, working on some other segments, working on some other things, but I will not be going out into that madness. How about you folks? What's everybody up to for their New Year's Eve? Are you guys all going out? You staying home? Send me some emails. I want to know what everybody's doing. And if you are going out, well, I hope that you're going to be safe. Make sure you're taking an Uber or a Lyft or public transportation, a cab, whatever it may be. But do not get behind the wheel and drive your car if you're going to be partying. It's not worth it for you or anybody else. It's just not worth it. We've had a spate of wrong way drivers and people going too fast and all sorts of casualty crashes here in Vegas recently, and it all has to do with people speeding or people being under the influence. So just don't do it. What's the point? Why do you have to do 75 and a 45, folks? Slow the F down. All right, so we have an article tonight, and it's from the Daily Mail, and it has to do with our good friend Ghislaine Maxwell, and the author is Sebastian Murphy Bates, and it was published today, about 8 hours ago. So, we're going to dive into that article and see what it has to say. First, if you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI at protonmail.com. All right, let's see what the article says. Headline: Ghislaine Maxwell is totally convinced that she will not face prosecution over alleged procurement of girls for Jeffrey Epstein, as she has too much dirt on rich people, family friend says. Oh, is that right? She has too much dirt. Could that be because she was involved in a trafficking ring? Could that be because she's an agent working for the Mossad/CIA? Could that possibly be why she has all of this dirt? What do you think? That Ghislaine Maxwell didn't cover her bases? The daughter of Robert Maxwell didn't cover her bases? She didn't have her own blackmail information stored away, stashed away just for this very event? And how do we know the FBI hasn't had her stashed away for a while? Who knows what's going on behind the scenes, right? All I can tell you is this. There is zero doubt that Maxwell has the goods. If anyone has the information, if anyone has the dirt, it is definitely 100% Ghislaine Maxwell. And if she thinks because she has that dirt that she's not going to be able to, she's going to be untouchable, well, she's wrong. There is way too much public outcry right now for anybody to ignore this case at this point. There is a reason. There is a reason that this is one of the most popular searches of 2019, folks. This is one of the most popular searches on Google in 2019, the Jeffrey Epstein case, because everybody is interested in it. Like I've said a million times, we're all willing to turn the other cheek. We know that these people go into office with not very much money and they leave just super rich or get rich as soon as they get out of office. We get it. That's all part of the deal. All right? We understand. They're going to lie. They're going to cheat. They're going to steal. They're probably all going to have affairs on their wives for the most part or on their husbands. We all know that. These are not good people in politics. Anybody that is power hungry the way these politicians are, from Trump on down, are not people that I trust. Okay? The best leaders in situations like this are leaders that are thrust into the position, leaders that don't want it. Since when did career politician truly become a job? The former girlfriend of pedophile billionaire, I like how they use pedophile there, save me the trouble, Jeffrey Epstein is accused of procuring underage girls for the financier. She's not only accused of that, folks, okay? Not only that, but she's also accused of molesting these girls with Jeffrey Epstein. And now we have the young girl, the 15-year-old, the poor 15-year-old Swedish girl, who says that she was threatened if she didn't have sex with her and Kellen Vickers. I mean, what world do we live in where a little girl says that to you, as being the butler, and you don't go off the handle, off the rails, at the very least call the authorities? How can you lay your head down on your pillow at night? How do you come to grips with that as a person? I mean, this girl is basically crying out to you for help, and all you're doing is asking her questions? Sickening, man. It's absolutely sickening. But she is totally convinced that she can stay in hiding and eventually clear her name, the Sun Online reports. Yeah, I bet she does. I bet she feels like she can stay in hiding. I wonder who's hiding her. Where is she? I mean, I'm sure it has nothing to do with intelligence, right? Intelligence would never be hiding our good friend Ghislaine Maxwell, huh? Nobody would ever hide her. Give me a break. Somebody knows where she is. Some buddies know where she is. And those people who aren't coming forward and giving information about Ghislaine Maxwell, well, they're pieces of human excrement as well. Anyone who would protect this lady is absolutely positively gross. All you have to do is read a few articles to see what sort of animal this lady is. What do you think? All of these girls got together, all 60, 70, 80 of these girls got together one day and were like, all right, we're going to come up with this great story. And we're going to go and we're going to say that Ghislaine Maxwell, she was the one who procured us. And but you know, we're just going to make all of this up because what? For what reason? Why would these girls make all of this up? What did these 14 and 15-year-old girls get out of this besides being completely and utterly embarrassed by the prosecution as well as the defense? There was nothing to gain for these girls. Sure, some of them got some money. Good for them. Good for them. What do you think? That these people should get off scot-free? If it wasn't for the civil matters, we wouldn't even know half the stuff we know. So good for them for suing them. Family friend Laura Goldman says Ghislaine is being hidden by rich friends but plans to get back to normal once the dust is settled. She is apparently so brazen that she's texting friends in different social circles despite hiding. And you see, folks, again, look, if this was a RICO case, all right, if this was a RICO case and this was occurring, everybody that she sent a text to, every single person would get swooped up in this case and be questioned, okay? Anybody who has contact with her would be swooped up and questioned. If they're using the same standard that they use when they go into a mafia hotbeds and they go after mafioso, because that's what they do. Not only do they go after the mafia member, they go after his whole entire family. They go after his parents, his cousins, anyone who he's given money to, anybody who he's associated with, they can bring in and they can question. Do you know how I know about all of that? Because I've witnessed it firsthand, folks. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the way the feds act. I've seen the way they conduct themselves. I've seen how they grab 16-year-olds off the street and try and question them without their parents or without lawyers. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. And I know how they behave. Miss Goldman, who is friends with Maxwell's sister Isabel, said Ghislaine and her sister Isabel remain totally convinced that she'll escape any criminal convictions and will eventually clear the family name and return to high society once the dust is settled. She has wealthy connections who hide her and even pay some legal fees. She can stay out of the public eye as long as she wants. So look at how brazen she is, folks, all right? Look at how brazen she is. And another thing that I've talked about on here a little bit, but I haven't talked about too much, is why was her nephew, Alexander Djerassi, working for Hillary Clinton's State Department? I thought they didn't have these no ties. I thought they had no ties. They really didn't know them or any of that stuff. Why was Alexander Maxwell Djerassi working for Hillary Clinton's State Department? Can anyone answer me that question? I wonder why. And she says Maxwell, who she previously branded sex-obsessed, doesn't believe she has done anything wrong. Miss Goldman claims that Maxwell is relieved at Epstein's death and that it means she can escape justice for her alleged crimes. She added that Maxwell still adores Prince Andrew, who was forced to step down from royal duties due to backlash over his friendship with Epstein. But she isn't willing to come out of hiding for the Duke of York and will only do so once it is to benefit her, Miss Goldman said. Andrew faced criticism following a disastrous interview with BBC Newsnight in which he said that he did not regret his friendship with the disgraced financier, pedophile. Maxwell has always denied any wrongdoing. Well, I'd like to know who these rich friends are that are protecting Maxwell. Who are these rich friends? Someone should ask this Miss Goldman that. Someone should definitely ask Miss Goldman who these rich friends are. All right, now, I was just talking about Alexander Djerassi, all right? So here's his bio from the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, okay? In case you doubt me on who Alexander Djerassi is, okay, folks? His mother is Isabel Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's sister, okay? And here is his bio from the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Alexander Djerassi was a non-resident associate at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, where his research focused on Tunisia and U.S. foreign policy toward the Middle East and North Africa. From 2009 to 2012, Djerassi was Chief of Staff and Special Assistant in the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Near Eastern Affairs, covering U.S. relations with Arab states, Israel, and Iran. So you know what that means, folks? This guy, this Alexander Djerassi, Alexander Maxwell Djerassi, okay, was involved in the whole disgusting Arab Spring. The regime change that was an absolute and abject failure across the region, that coupled along with Bush's miscalculations in Iraq and the other regions, the other countries of the region, ended up giving us ISIS. Okay? He was one of the brain trust, folks. One of the brain trust. But why? Of all the people on the planet, you're telling me nobody else was capable of doing this job? Nobody else was qualified? Why was it Ghislaine Maxwell's nephew working in Hillary Clinton's office? I'll leave that for you folks to work out. I'm just posing the question. He worked on matters relating to democratization and civil society in the Arab world, the Arab uprisings, and Israeli-Palestinian peace. Djerassi has served as a U.S. representative to the Friends of Libya conferences, Friends of the Syrian People conferences, U.S. GCC Strategic Coordination Forum, and several UN General Assemblies. Libya, failed state. Syria, failed state. What do they have in common? This clown Djerassi worked on both of them. Now, you see, folks, this is my wheelhouse. This is where I'm most comfortable. This is where I am an absolute political animal, and that is in Near East policy. And I can tell you right now on record, okay? Alexander Djerassi and his buddies, his Obama on down, they were in way over their head in the Middle East. They had zero idea how to deal with what was going on in Syria, okay? And then they compounded the problem by getting rid of Gaddafi. Now you have two failed states. How are you supposed to keep control of two failed states? How are you supposed to make sure that a humanitarian crisis isn't cracking off? You can't, okay? After they went into Libya and they got rid of Gaddafi, who is definitely a terrible person, there's zero doubt about that. But after they got rid of him, there were open-air slave markets in Tripoli, folks. Think about that for a minute. What is this, the Barbary Coast all over again? And this guy, Alexander Djerassi, was hip deep in all of it. And my question to you tonight, folks, is this. Why was Ghislaine Maxwell's nephew, of all the people that are capable and able to do this job, why was he given such a high-ranking position within Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama's State Department? That's the question I want you to chew on tonight. I want you to put that in your pipe, and I want you to smoke it. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at Bobbycapucci at protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI at protonmail.com. If you would like to help support the podcast, you can click on the GoFundMe link that is in the description box. I will be back tomorrow, and we're going to do it all over again, folks, because we had so much fun doing it today. 2020, the year the predators turn into the prey.